What I've done is put a plumb bob through the upper control arm bolts and I'm just letting it hang down to the floor here. And what this is going to allow me to do is get a little piece of tape under this, put a little X on it. I've done the same thing on both sides, so I'll have tape on both sides, and then what that'll allow me to do is measure from the back of the car to the front of the car and make sure that the K member in the front is square to the back. So I got my marks in the back, both sides. You can see when it sways, it's pretty much directly under. What I'm going to do is take these plumb bobs off the back. The back shouldn't move too much, and I'm going to move the plumb bobs to the front, put a couple marks on the front, and then do some measurements. So I've decided that the steering rack mount is as good a place as any to run my plumb bob on the front. I'm going to have it set off the back here. So what I've done is I've taken my screwdriver, taped the plumb bob string to the end, and then that just allows me to run it through and grab it out at the other end. Alright, so I got my marks drawn on the front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from mark on the front to the mark in the back, and I'm going to measure this mark to the opposite mark, both sides. That should tell me if we're same distance front to back, and then side to side. Alright, so maybe I got lucky, but I'm only 1/8 of an inch out, and that I'm not too worried about. So my measurements from front to back on the passenger side, I was 93 5/8, and on the driver's side I was 93 3/4, which kind of surprised me that I was a little bit further on this side, considering when I measure from the firewall to the middle of my cross member, I'm on 15 inches, and on this side I am 15 and 5/8. Let's get that a bit more even. 15 and 3/8. So I kind of expected the driver's side to be shorter, but it's not. And then from the passenger front to the driver rear, I was 95 3/8, and from the driver front to the passenger rear, 95 1/2. So again, no more than 1/8 of an inch out of square. I'm actually going to call this a success and done. I don't know how I lucked out, but I did. It worked. Maybe that's just how good TeamZ's products are. So the next thing that I'm going to do, because I'm going to have this kit member in and out a whole ton, is on the bottom here, on the bottom of the K member here, on both sides, I'm going to drill a hole straight up through. So what that's going to do is when I have this off and on and off and on, to make sure I get this realigned, I'm just going to stick a punch up in here, and then make sure that the punch is square. And with the punch in here, when I tighten this down, it should align pretty much perfectly straight again, so I don't have to measure it and keep redoing this whole plumb bob process. Okay, so just looking to put the control arms in place for now. Pretty sure this tab's going to go to the front for mounting your sway bar, not towards the back.